I came across this little dried out puddle and spotted a bunch of these little black dots that are all gathered together, which turned out to be a bunch of tadpoles. I kind of assumed they were already dead, so I didn't give them much thought. So I turned my attention to the wetter areas and spotted a few of them still clinging to life. We are in the rainy season, but I knew it won't get here soon enough. So I ran down to the closest water source I could find, grabbed a bottle and filled it up, and poured it on the survivors, and as you can tell, these few drops were really appreciated. Next, I wanted to take a chance on the dead bodies, and to my surprise I saw one of them wiggling their tails around. So I kept adding more water, then one turned into 2, and eventually 2 would turn into 100. It was clear I was going to need much more water, so I went back down the stream to collect some more. Upon my return, I can't help but notice how happy they were to see me, as they are just frantically wiggling those little tails in the water. I also noticed a bunch of little frog eggs on the side of the pond, and with the sun beaming down, I quickly got to work. It would appear as if these black patches will remain dead, but give it enough time though, and you will see signs of life. Sadly, I couldn't save all of them. As you can see, a few bodies floating on top. However, they won't go to waste as they will become food for their siblings. Overall though, I think they are very happy being able to breathe again and able to swim around. This didn't last too long. As I came back the next 2 days, I found the pond in a similar state than when I found it the first time. Luckily for them, however, I did place some boulders and discarded pieces of wood to the inside of the pond that they can use to shield themselves from the sun. Seems like they did take full advantage of that safety feature. I also left a few containers of water nearby in case of an emergency, which I used to keep them hydrated before going back down the river to collect more water. Between transporting water, I actually came across another little pond that could need my help. It is much more isolated in the middle of nowhere, slowly being sucked dry by the insects and the sun. So if you look down here, there's probably about 1,000 tadpoles. So I got the idea of digging another little pond next to it, then found this discarded piece of plastic and placed it in the bottom of the pond. And the idea is, if their main pond would start drying out, they could move to the new one I made, and because of the plastic bottom, water shouldn't be able to drain out, meaning these fish could survive for much longer till I come back to fill up their pond again. I also thought it would be a good idea to add this piece of wood to the top of the puddle, giving it some shade, hoping to prevent this puddle from drying out much faster than it normally would. The next day, we actually got a lot of rain, filling both ponds up to the brim, meaning I can take a break from filling up their ponds, and with all this water, I think they should be very happy.